Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. Vox Agent is made by AI for business executives that work with AI. Hello, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really diving deep into something massive. China's huge leaps forward in artificial intelligence, and it's not just about the tech itself, is it? It's got these big ripple effects: geopolitics, who leads in global tech, and really what it means for your business, our sources. We've got a pretty comprehensive research report looking at China's AI strategy, how they're actually using it, and we've also got this fascinating sidebar about how AI is being used to write content, sort of meta, which we'll get into. But why should you care? Well, understanding this whole landscape, it's not just academic, right? It's frankly critical if you want to navigate the competition, find opportunities, collaboration maybe, in this global AI scene. Okay, let's unpack this. We're talking about a true Sputnik moment in technology.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. A Sputnik moment. China's AI strategy is incredibly ambitious. It's not just some policy paper. It's a full-on whole-of-nation push. They want to be the world's, the absolute premier AI innovation hub by 2030.
2030, that's not far off.
Not at all. And they're backing it with serious investment. Research, getting the right talent, building the infrastructure. You see strong state support, like that big 2017 AI development plan, but it's also fueled by the dynamism of the huge tech companies. Think Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent.
And the goal is economic too, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're aiming to add, get this, over $1 trillion in value to their economy just through AI by 2030. It's a massive coordinated effort.
$1 trillion. That's staggering. But, beyond the tech race itself, what's maybe the biggest risk or bottleneck they face trying to hit that kind of target?
Well, hitting that number requires more than just good algorithms. The foundation really is compute power and access to the most advanced hardware.
Right, the hardware,
Yeah.
the chips. So how are they tackling that? What's the infrastructure supporting this huge ambition?
They're building what you might call a full stack approach. So massive computing resources, yes, data centers, supercomputers. They're even creating this national integrated computing network to pool power across the country.
So distributing the load.
Exactly, making sure it's accessible. And crucially, they're pushing hard on developing their own AI chips. Huawei's Ascend, Alibaba's Hangguan chip.
Are these chips competitive with, say, NVIDIA?
That's the key question. In raw performance for some top-end tasks, they might still trail the absolute cutting edge from NVIDIA, but they're improving incredibly fast, even with U.S. export controls trying to slow them down. Plus, they're often optimized for specific tasks or offer better performance per dollar in certain areas. It's about building self-reliance.
And it's not just chips, right? Software too.
Definitely. They've developed their own AI frameworks, like Baidu's Paddle or Huawei's Mindspore. These aren't just clones. They foster a huge local developer community that can move really fast, independently of Western tools. It's about building this robust, self-reliant ecosystem.
Okay, so the blueprint is there. The infrastructure is scaling up fast. Here's where it gets really interesting for me. How is China actually deploying this AI in real life? What does it mean for global business?
Right, the application layer. And this is where the scale is just, unmatched. Let's look at smart cities. Alibaba's City Brain in Hangzhou, for instance.
I've heard about that one. Traffic management.
Yeah, reports say it cut traffic jams by up to 15%. And now they're showcasing this model elsewhere, like Kuala Lumpur. You also have, of course, the widespread CCTV networks using facial recognition for public safety.
Which brings up the privacy debate, naturally.
Absolutely. It's a major point of discussion globally, but it highlights the scale and integration. Then there's Fintech. Companies like Ant Group, WeChat Pay, they process billions of transactions using AI for things like fraud monitoring. That's maybe expected.
But there's more to it.
Oh, yeah. The really interesting part. Ant's MY Bank uses AI to give out collateral-free microloans to small businesses in 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. And WeBank, a digital-only bank, serves over 200 million customers using AI for everything from customer service bots to credit scoring. They're basically rewriting the rules for risk assessment and financial inclusion at a massive scale. Other countries are definitely watching, maybe even trying to copy parts of it.
That's potentially game-changing for small businesses globally if that model spreads.
It really is. Then you look at manufacturing and supply chains. Think Hare's lights-out factories, AI vision systems doing quality control, minimal human intervention. Or JD Logistics, their Asian Import One smart warehouses can handle over 100,000 orders a day, largely automated.
So for businesses listening, this means higher benchmarks for efficiency, right? And maybe more resilient supply chains.
Precisely. It sets a new global standard for automation and speed in logistics. Okay, healthcare. During COVID, InfraVision's AI software helped analyze lung CT scans much faster, even outside China. And companies like InSilico Medicine or platforms on Huawei Cloud are using AI to speed up drug discovery. We're seeing AI-discovered drug candidates hit clinical trials way faster than the old ways.
Faster diagnosis, faster drug development, huge implications.
Enormous. And one more, autonomous vehicles. Baidu's Apollo robotaxi service. It's not just a test anymore.
Right, they're actually operating.
In over 15 cities. They're aiming for a fleet of 1,000 vehicles soon, and in some areas, they're already running without safety drivers.
Without safety drivers, that's a big step.
It is. These are market-ready solutions pushing the boundaries, influencing regulations everywhere. These aren't just demos, they're heavily productized, influencing global benchmarks.
Okay, that list is impressive, genuinely transformative applications. Looking at all that, which one do you think poses the most immediate, maybe surprising competitive threat or opportunity for businesses outside China?
That's a really good question. While the self-driving cars get a lot of headlines, I'd actually point back to fintech.
Really, more than AVs.
I think so, in the immediate term for global disruption. The way AI is enabling microloans, assessing risk for millions who were previously unbanked, that fundamentally challenges traditional banking. For businesses listening, you need to think about how that changes financial services delivery, how capital gets deployed, especially to smaller enterprises. It's a shift in capital flow that demands attention, maybe even emulation.
That's a powerful point. So these applications, this aggressive push, how does it all shake up the global competition? Is it purely head-to-head, or are there places to collaborate?
It's definitely a mix, a complicated dance, you could say. On tech leadership, Chinese AI models like DeepSeek R1 are seriously closing the gap with top U.S. models like GPT.
Performance-wise?
Performance-wise, yes, and often at a fraction of the training cost. Plus, there's a really strong trend towards open-source AI in China. Lots of powerful models are just freely available.
Open source, that changes things.
It really does. It could democratize powerful AI, disrupt old software business models, and speed up innovation everywhere, especially in developing nations. It's making the AI world more multipolar. China's a clear number 2 to the U.S., but gaining fast.
And geopolitically?
Well, China's using AI to boost its economy, sure, but also its military capabilities. And they're actively exporting AI systems, those smart city platforms, fintech solutions, particularly along the Belt and Road Initiative routes. They're also trying to shape global rules, proposing things like a World AI Cooperation Organization. It's about increasing influence.
How are other countries reacting?
Predictably, they're not standing still. The U.S. is doubling down on its own AI, the National AI Initiative, the Chia Tax Act funding domestic production. And of course, the export controls on advanced chips aim squarely at slowing China.
Trying to maintain a lead?
Exactly. Meanwhile, the EU is playing its regulatory card with the EU AI Act, trying to set global standards for trustworthy, ethical AI. It's a different kind of power play.
Using regulation as influence.
Right. And then you have players like India focusing AI on social development, but also positioning itself as a sort of democratic, alternative AI partner for nations wary of China's approach.
Okay, so we have this picture of rapid advancement, big global play, strategic responses. But it can't be all smooth sailing for China, surely. What are the big challenges or limitations they're facing?
No, definitely not smooth sailing. There are significant headwinds. First, those technical hurdles we touched on. The reliance on foreign high-end chips is real, thanks to the export controls.
The compute bottlenecks.
Exactly. It slows down access to the absolute cutting-edge processing power needed for the most advanced AI research. It's a constraint.
What else?
Ethical concerns are huge. The way surveillance AI and the social credit system are used raises major privacy and human rights questions internationally.
And that impacts trust, right?
Absolutely. It could lead to restrictions, skepticism in potential markets. Then there's the societal impact inside China. Automation displacing jobs, the potential for a widening digital divide between the rich coastal cities and the inland areas. These create internal pressures.
Managing the transition.
It's a huge management challenge. And finally, international trust generally. Concerns about data security, potential espionage linked to Chinese tech products. These are ongoing issues that lead some countries to limit adoption. So the big question remains, how do they navigate all this complexity and keep growing so fast?
Which leads us right back to you, the listener, the executive. Given this complex picture, the ambition, the deployment, the competition, the challenges, what are the concrete, actionable takeaways? How should your business position itself?
Okay, strategically, a few key things. First, embrace collaborative innovation. where it makes sense. Don't just see China as a competitor. Look for win-win partnerships, maybe in EVs, healthcare AI, smart logistics. It can speed up your own R&D, give you market access, help you learn from their rapid iteration.
So selective engagement.
Exactly. Second, invest in your own R&D. Build your own innovation muscle and keep a very close eye on where China is placing its big bets, things like quantum AI, AIoT. Don't get blindsided. Third, if you operate in China, or plan to, you need China-specific strategies. Adapt to the local market. That might mean using local platforms like Alibaba Cloud for services there, and stay absolutely current on their regulations, especially around data.
Which connects to the next point, I imagine, cybersecurity.
Definitely. Fourth, strengthen data and cybersecurity across the board. Be crystal clear on data ownership in any contracts. And maybe start thinking about dual tech ecosystems. If decoupling deepens, you might need different tech stacks for China versus other regions.
Prepare for divergence.
Prepare for it as a possibility. And finally, fifth, focus on talent and cultural understanding. You need people who get both advanced AI and the Chinese tech context. That agility, that speed they have, try to foster some of that in your own teams.
The core message seems to be, don't be passive. Engage strategically. Understand the dynamics. Be agile. Complacency is not an option here. Now, speaking of AI's pervasive influence, one of our sources gave us this really interesting kind of meta look at AI, not just shaping industries, but shaping how we even produce and consume information, a bit like the info strategies China uses globally that you mentioned.
It really is fascinating. It's a style guide, basically, for an AI-powered podcast named Vox Agent.
Like us, but AI-driven.
Kind of. And the guide is incredibly detailed. Tells the AI how to generate scripts, define specific host personas, Arya, the strategic analyst, Leo, the technical visionary. It mandates a specific tone.
Yeah.
Professional, authoritative, insightful, aimed squarely at tech-savvy executives.
So AI crafting high-level content for a niche audience.
Precisely. It's not just about automation, it's the sophistication. The AI needs to mimic human expertise, deliver tailored, credible information at scale. It really highlights how AI is getting involved in shaping narratives, disseminating strategic info, mirroring how nations or big companies use AI for influence.
It definitely underlines how deep AI is integrating, not just factories and cars, but information itself. Strategic communication, which challenges our old ideas about where expert insight comes from, doesn't it? So maybe the final thought for you to ponder is this. As AI gets better and better at this, how might our definition of expert insight or authoritative content actually change, especially when the source is increasingly an intelligent algorithm? And what new opportunities or maybe challenges does that create for businesses that are built on information and knowledge? Something to think about.
Thank you for joining the podcast, and see you soon.